You already know when it happens. That moment your mind goes quiet because someone sounds certain, because their title carries weight, because disagreeing would require friction you don't feel like creating. So you nod. Not agreement, suspension. You felt it even as it happened, that subtle drop in alertness, that internal step backward, not ignorance, deference. And the cost was never about being right or wrong. It was positional, strategic. Authority bias doesn't overpower you. It waits for you to lower yourself. You assume expertise equals accuracy. You assume confidence equals competence. You assume silence equals consent. Those assumptions feel polite. They're lethal. That's how weak ideas pass untouched, through rooms full of intelligence. That's how failed strategies get funded without resistance. That's how capable people become extensions of someone else's certainty. You don't lose because you don't know. You lose because you pause when you should stay sharp. The most dangerous losses don't announce themselves. They arrive later, quietly, wrapped in professionalism. And you already know this. That tension you felt wasn't doubt. It was awareness being overridden. This isn't about distrust. You're not cynical. You're precise. This is about leverage. You don't need the definition explained to you. You've already lived it. It's that instant shift inside you when someone important speaks. A quote, a title, a resume that fills the air before the words do. You feel your edge soften, not because you're convinced, because you're pausing. You stop weighing the idea itself. You start weighing them, their certainty, their position, their permission to be wrong without consequence. And something in you steps back. Your standards don't collapse loudly. They lower themselves quietly, automatically. You notice it as a delay, a fraction of a second where your instinct says something, and you don't follow it. Authority doesn't ask you to believe. That would require effort. It only asks you to hesitate. And you do. In that hesitation, weak claims gain shelter. In that pause, flawed decisions slip past untouched. In that silence, your intelligence becomes background noise. You weren't fooled. You were deferred. The discomfort you felt wasn't confusion. It was awareness being asked to wait its turn. And waiting is all authority needs. You've been in that room. A senior voice lays out a plan, clean slides, confident pacing, and you feel it immediately, the small misalignment, the quiet no that never reaches your mouth. You hold it back, not because you're unsure, because interrupting would feel improper. So the meeting closes in agreement. 6 months later, the failure arrives fully grown. No one remembers the moment you almost spoke. You do. You always do. You've watched a respected analyst make a decisive call, strong language, no hesitation, and something in you tightened. You ignored it. You told yourself they see more than you. When it collapses, accountability floats upward and vanishes. The loss stays with you. You've sat across from confidence in a white coat, a diagnosis delivered like a conclusion. Your questions dissolve before forming. You comply. Later, you realize the delay did more harm than the risk of asking. Silence didn't protect you. It postponed the damage. You've been in a negotiation where volume took control. The louder voice set the boundaries. You adjusted without noticing. Only afterward did you see how much ground you gave away. Not taken from you, handed over. You weren't defeated. You withdrew. Most losses don't come from force. They come from you going quiet at the wrong moment. You've caught yourself thinking it. They know more than me. It slips in quietly. Wears humility as camouflage. Feels mature. It isn't. What you're really noticing is difference, not superiority. Different access, different incentives, different blind spots. But status distorts that distinction. Authority doesn't clean ideas. It concentrates their flaws. It gives mistakes altitude. The higher someone stands, the fewer interruptions reach them. Not because they're right, because people like you hesitate. You don't need to challenge the role, that would be crude. You already understand structure. You question the claim instead, silently, precisely. Hierarchy decides who speaks first. It has nothing to do with accuracy, and you've always known that. You already know how this plays out. A senior voice fills the space, not louder, heavier, and you feel the room tilt toward it. You don't push back, not because you're intimidated, because pushing back would be wasteful. So you do something quieter. You ask for clarity, not aggressively, not defensively, just enough detail that certainty has to prove itself. And you notice how quickly vague confidence starts to thin out. How ambiguity hates calm attention. You don't oppose power, you expose its edges. In money, you've learned this the hard way. A recommendation arrives wrapped in reputation, a name that's supposed to end the conversation, and for a moment it almost does. But you pause, because if the logic only works when you repeat their name, it isn't logic, it's borrowing authority. And borrowed authority never bleeds for you. In relationships, you've seen the same pattern. Confidence moves fast, talks first, claims space. Leadership waits, listens, withholds. You've noticed how the person who speaks last often decides what mattered, not by force, by restraint. Silence isn't surrender, it's placement. You're not reacting anymore. You're positioning. The person who speaks last often controls the frame. Silence is not submission, it's positioning. You already carry these rules, you just haven't named them out loud. You've noticed how titles arrive before truth, how a role explains where someone sits, not what survives scrutiny. You felt the mistake of mistaking position for precision. You don't make that error twice. You've felt how confidence registers in the body, the steady voice, the unbroken eye contact. It feels convincing before it proves anything. You've learned that certainty is a signal, not a verdict. You know the exact moment disagreement starts to feel dangerous. The air tightens, the room goes still. That's not risk, that's authority activating its gravity. You've sensed it when agreement comes too fast, too clean, too eager. Consensus without friction has a smell. You slow down when you catch it, and you already know this one, even if no one taught it to you. Obedience never happens by accident. It's chosen, quietly, internally. You don't need to memorize these. They surface on their own when pressure rises. You've already noticed who authority really works on. Not the lost, not the reckless, not the loud. It finds the capable, the disciplined, the ones who know how to hold themselves in check. It recruits you by appealing to your restraint. You don't submit because you're weak. You yield because you're controlled, because you understand timing, because you don't waste motion. And that's exactly why it works. The mistake was never trusting authority. It was trusting it more than your own perception. You don't need rebellion. That's crude. predictable, easy to neutralize. You also don't need to perform independence. No speeches, no resistance theater. What matters happens quietly, inside the moment where you almost defer, inside the second where you usually soften, inside the private choice to pause your own judgment. That's where you stop surrendering. No one needs to see it, no one needs to approve it. Your posture stays neutral, your face stays calm, your silence stays intact, but your judgment remains yours. And once that happens, authority loses its leverage, because leverage only works when it's handed over. You don't announce control, you keep it. That's where it begins.
Thanks for spending time with us. If this sparked a new way of thinking, hit like and subscribe to keep the ideas flowing. And don't forget, check the description for the links to the original books and resources we used today. We'll see you in the next one.